A great way to get students working on their writing is to talk about it in class. There are many activities that faculty can experiment with as they explore what expectations they have about writing within their disciplines. This sticky note exercise is one activity that helps students to articulate their own knowledge about their writing practices while allowing a faculty member to guide them toward what the expectations for the course are. This exercise can be adapted to a variety of contexts, so consider trying to use it for different purposes in your course. There are 3 steps to this exercise. First, independent writing. Second, small group discussion. And third, class discussion. In the first step, put 4 or 5 questions on the board about writing. These should be open-ended questions that encourage students to write more than a yes or no. Here are some sample questions. When you write, who is your audience? What do you think good writing is? What does revision mean to you as a writer? What does your writing process look like? What resources do you use when you write? Then, distribute 2 to 3 sticky notes to each student to write their answers without putting their names on the sticky notes. The key here is that each student gets a choice about what questions he or she answers, as well as to have the anonymity to be honest in their responses. Giving students a choice can help them feel like they have more agency and allow them to avoid questions that might be uncomfortable to them. You may get a few funny responses, and that's okay. Once students are done, have them put the sticky notes next to the questions they answered. Divide students into small groups that correspond to the number of questions you have. Assign each group a question and have them collect their sticky notes. Ask them to organize the sticky notes, looking for commonalities and differences, identifying any outliers, and also to be prepared to discuss their findings with the class. This ability to organize and evaluate is a higher order thinking skill. It can be interesting to adapt this exercise to ask what is similar or different about pieces of evidence, research resources, and data. It can be helpful to circulate during this discussion, asking students what they've discovered that is interesting, providing support when they're stuck or unsure how to handle a response, or guiding them toward a collective and brief response for the class. It can be useful to get a sense of what groups will say in order to make connections during the coming class discussion. Once the groups have finalized their comments, have them share with the class. It can be helpful to use the now blank space on the board to jot down critical findings and make connections with what other groups have found. Part of this facilitation can include making connections to other course content or lessons from class. It could also help set the stage for writing expectations related to a particular assignment, or you could even use the exercise to springboard into an independent in-class writing assignment that counts for participation points. The sticky note exercise can be a fun way to integrate writing into your classroom and encourage students to both write and talk about their own practices. These conversations can be very revealing to an instructor of writing about what sorts of past knowledge or skill levels students are bringing with them to the course, as well as help students explore what they are capable of in their next context.